Alright, so a few days ago, this Emmy account followed a bunch of Mario runners on Twitter. The only tweet at the time was this one, Road to Emmyostepop, showing a 159 to a 153. On the leaderboards, there was this submission that was originally accepted because we didn't know back then, and then it's now rejected. So I knew that this account, I'd recognized this name before, so that's why I looked into this account. I recognized the account because it reminded me of one of Siglemic's old accounts back in the day. So after, thinking about it, because the account that Sig used was one called Hannah Mackenzie. So I went to the leaderboards. If you haven't looked at this leaderboard history, by the way, I highly recommend looking at it. It's really good. Here's the Hannah Mackenzie. This is Sig, 2011. Now, if I click on this video, as you can see, the name is very similar to the Emmy account. So that's when I thought, it must be Sig. Who else could this possibly be? So I looked at the videos on this Hannah account, and one in particular, this is TTC Stage RTA, 26th of May, 2011. Remember that date. On the Emmy account, there is also a TTC Stage RTA that was also submitted on the 26th of May, 2017. So, we have both accounts, Hannah and Emmy, both TTC Stage RTAs on the exact same date, 6 years apart. So that's when I thought, this has to be Sig. But mine was not the only theory. BlueBob said that the split layout looked a lot like Kryptic's. Now, I don't know anything about split layouts for anybody really, but if that's what BlueBob said, then it was probably true. So Alaris asked Kryptic if he's been doing any runs on the old account, and Kryptic denied doing it. So he was asking him if he knew anything about this Emmy account, and he still denied it. Kryptic mentioned that he'd seen the account before in other chats, but he doesn't claim to be the person himself. As you can see, this is the chat in one of Emmy's runs, where Kryptic is actually in the chat at the time. So he knew about the account before we even looked into this. Another interesting thing is if you look at the following of this Emmy account, you can see that it's a bunch of Mario runners. Everyone you'd really expect any Mario runner to follow. And there's this account here, the Woo15. Now, that's not really an account you'd typically expect a Mario runner to follow, Who even is this, really? I mean, I've seen it in chat before, but if you look at the Woo15 account, you can see that there is one follower in particular, and that is Kryptic. So that is another piece of evidence that would point towards this Emmy account being Kryptic. Now, if you can see on Kryptic's tweets, it says that he uses Twitter for Android. Now, since we're not actually sure if this is Kryptic, I decided to look into Siglemic's tweets as well. And it says that he uses the Twitter web client. And I tried to find tweets that showed he used the Android app, but there wasn't any. And as you can see on this Emmy account, this also uses Twitter for Android. So both Kryptic and the Emmy account use Twitter for Android. I thought that was another interesting piece of information. Now, Steve mentioned that this gameplay was Kryptic's. So now we're going to look into the gameplay of Emmy and Kryptic.